Whole winter, Trevor Bayne led the first 39 laps, but since then it's been that man, Kyle Busch. He has led 36 and counting. Points leader Brad Keselowski currently running 7th. He's been mired in traffic. We've got a yellow is out, and we've got contact here on the front straight. Derek Griffin in the 10 car for Braun Racing had to start at the back tonight because of some changes before the green, and it looks like his night has gone from bad to worse. He'd actually picked up about 14 spots after starting from the back. 18-year-old from South Bend, Indiana, one of the Hoosiers in the field here in this race, but significant damage there on the right side and the front end.
Yeah, just like you said, Vince, you got to go tailback at the start of this race for some unapproved changes, and that could be anything. It could be, transmissions, air dams, whatever they had to do, but he did have to start this thing in the back, and obviously didn't get this car handling too good. And another thing, these guys are about out of tires. These tires are really getting down, a lot of cars slipping and sliding, and I'm sure that was part of it.
So you had Kyle Busch knocking them down here. Big relief for the drivers that qualified back in the pack because, there are only 17 cars on the lead lap at this point.
Let's take a look at the replay here and see if we can pick out what happened to the 10 of Griffin.
Yeah, you can tell there's nobody around him. He just loses it up off at turn 4. He gets loose and comes across and clobbers the inside wall and tears that number 10 car up pretty good. But just classic case of getting loose. Car's getting out from underneath you, and it's getting pretty slippery here tonight.
Rusty, none of these drivers had 77 laps on their tires in practice, so they, that's a part of it.
Now, it's pretty hard to go out there and practice something like this. You try to do 20 and 30 lap runs, and if the car's not right, you come down and make some changes, but that's a problem of just not getting the car handling right.
There's Jason Keller, the 35 car. He's the lucky dog in this instance, and you see as Kyle Busch peels off, he's coming to pit lane, and just about everybody's going to be looking for a little help on the tires. Mike Massaro.
Kyle Busch complaining, Vince, that the car is just a little bit too tight. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. It could go 1 round up. Also an air pressure adjustment on the 18 car. 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel to Kyle Busch's car. Rick.
Trevor Bayne brings it in. They're going to have a problem. They've had a problem with the rear. He wants them to tighten it up, get it back where it belongs. This is the longest they run. They said this is doing what it was doing after it was doing it for 40 miles. Shannon?
Paul Menard in the center of your screen, loose in, loose off. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, track bar and fuel. Bottom of your screen, Eric Almirola in the 88 car auditioning for that ride says, I need to roll the center better. It's going to be an air pressure and 4 tires for Eric Almirola.
Here's the position changes on our Nationwide Insurance race off pit road. Ron Hornaday picked up 2, and Eric Almirola, as they were trying to pull out that fender, lost 5. All of them on the ride, taking 4 here at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
All right, boys, let's go get it.
We've had some great action on the track tonight. Now a little great action in the pits with Mark Hollywood Armstrong on this 66 pit stop.
Come on, boys, let's go. Get it on out of there. Go get you some of that. Woo!
He doesn't get excited, does he?
Nobody does it like Hollywood, right?
That's the reason he's got that nickname. He is a good tire changer, and he gets animated. He's excited about this stuff. He gets into it big time.
Great stuff from Hollywood there as the 66 having a good run tonight. 9th on the track and a solid pit stop as well. The pace car is off. Trevor Bayne on the inside. Kyle Busch, the leader, on the outside on the restart. Back to green at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
You see a pretty good green start right there. 3 wide already off of turn 2. See Carl Edwards down there. Ron Hornaday up in there. Paul Menard.
Cars just don't feel that great on low air pressure. They bounce around a little bit.
Bayne coming back on the inside. Takes it away from Kyle Busch.
And boy, that's a power move right there out of Bayne. I mean, this is where he passed him on the inside of the racetrack, Vince. That usually doesn't happen. Kyle's up there guarding that top, and Trevor said, heck with that. I'm going to the bottom, man, and just checks out on him.
But Kyle's car doesn't look right. Kyle's car looks like it's fading.
Certainly Bayne putting a little space between the two, and Busch did not take off certainly as he would have hoped, as Trevor Bayne made that move to take the lead, and now Ron Hornaday puts a little pressure on the back of the 18, and here's Brad Keselowski trying to get underneath the 98 of Paul Menard for fourth.
Keselowski's car looks really good right now. He's had this pit stop in order to tune on this thing to get it handling better. And Ricky, you talked about not looking good. I agree with you. But one thing that's different, this particular tire is very close to what they had at Gateway last week. The minimum right front air pressure at Gateway was 30 pounds. Here it's all the way down to 23 pounds. So it's going to take a while for this air pressure to build up.
Yeah, but typically, Rusty, an indication of a little higher air pressure or having the right amount of air pressure is the restarts. Kyle got an outstanding restart. So it was kind of odd that the second lap, the car faded like it did.
Points leader Brad Keselowski running in fourth. Let's go down to Shannon Spade. Shannon.
Guys, Brad Keselowski involved in that early wreck when we first started the race and everybody checked up. He was not complaining about any damage, but he was complaining about tight conditions. They made a track bar adjustment on that last pit stop to try to help him out.
You know that the pit stops came because of the yellow with Derek Griffin and the contact with the wall. Should point out that the 09 of Kevin Hamlin, the 24 of Eric McLaren, the 38 of Jason Leffler all got the wave around. Mentioned that the 35 of Jason Keller had the lucky dog. It's the 66 of Stephen Wallace running in 10th.
So you take a look at Carl Edwards up there, Vince. It looks like this thing is really starting to come alive right now. It looks like Carl has got this car handling better. He didn't have a great qualifying run, but right now the 60 car of Edwards is starting to come alive as he's working the top of this racetrack, hunting for grip.
That's Allgaier in front of the 60 of Edwards. Let's go back to Shannon again on the 60.
Well, guys, Carl Edwards' team got a little bit aggressive on that pit stop. They did take a rubber out of the right rear. He was really struggling with the handling, loose off, loose in, and tight in the center. Tight in the center is what they were struggling with in practice earlier. They felt they had, if Carl Edwards goes for a little ride there, they thought they had figured it out, but once it's race start, he was struggling with that. So a little bit aggressive on that last pit stop.
Well, and with Eric Darnell practicing that car and Edwards just getting a couple of laps in it this afternoon and then qualifying it, he indicated he thought it might take him a little while to get the car where they wanted it to be.
Those aren't perfect circumstances, obviously, and so a bit of a compromise. You got two drivers. They have no two drivers are the same, and you know we talk a lot about that first adjustment. Why the first adjustment's so critical, particularly at a short track like this, is because their last reference, this is their first adjustment since they were practicing in the sunlight. So as the track's cooling down, the car's changing dramatically.
Trevor Bayne in the 99 out in front of Kyle Busch. In fact, Bayne has led 48 laps tonight. That's more laps than he's ever led in a nationwide series race before. As you see Keselowski challenging now in the 33 of Hornaday. Keselowski and Hornaday battling for third.
Tell you what, I got to give a shout out to Trevor. I mean, he's hanging tough. He's looking really good. These guys have not rattled his cage at all. He's been strong. He's been driving this car right. And Bayne's been up front. I mean, him and Kyle Busch most of the time. And I tell you what, he's roughed it up with Kyle. He's done a good job hanging on.
He has, Rusty. And I got to agree with you. The point you made a few minutes ago is that this air pressure, I think, did get the best of Kyle. As the tires are building up, the car seems to be coming back to life. And it's going to get exciting, I think, among four drivers here real shortly.
Well, that's a great battle right there. You got 1 and 2, Bayne and Busch, and 3 and 4 is Keselowski and Hornaday. Not hard to find good battles on this short track, but right now Trevor Bayne is in front at O'Reilly Raceway Park.